on this program are those of the participants and do not reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
BronxNet. Your voice, your views, your vision.
And good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Open, the one and only show that opens up the Bronx and the world to you. I'm your host, Dr. Bob Lee from 107.5 WBLS. I come on each and every night right after the Quiet Storm. Also work the Steve Harvey Morning Show. But we got a great show lined up for you right here on Channel 67's Open. Leading off the show, we'll recap the best and beyond the Bronx with our Monday morning highlights. And then our first guest is an artist. She is an assistant professor at Lehman College, the Latin American Studies Department. Alicia Galvez, she's going to be with us. She's going to tell us about a new Mexican Studies Institute and a youth movement out to make a dream come true. We'll talk about that. And speaking of youth, later on, we'll catch up and catch you up with our Bronx YEP. YEP Executive Director Andy King is here. He's going to be getting set for an event called Youth Speaks 2012. Then from corrections officer to inmate and a rebirth as an author, Gary Haywood is here. He's going to share that fantastic story with us. His redemption through the power of the pen. And finally, we hit the Music Monday stage for a performance from urban jazz artist Devin Bing. Bing, bing, Ricochet Rabbit. No, Devin Bing. So stay tuned. All this and more headed your way because we are now open. And a good morning to you and yours. Hi, I'm the Dr. Bob Lee, and you're watching Open. Today is Monday, April 16th. Oh, right in the middle, right? In the middle of the month. And Clyde, last week we took our interns to WBLS for a tour of what goes into, we're talking about what goes into radio broadcasting, what does it take to become a jock or a radio and TV personality. We spoke about a bunch of stuff. How important is it to train our future MCs?
Very important.
Because you come from a line of MCs and DJs, you've been in the business for a while.
Yeah, for quite some time. I think it's very important, man, and I think that's so important that we have, our interns from Bronx that come to BLS to get the experience and exposure. I wish they had this type of exposure and experience when I was coming up.
Yeah.
I mean, I think what BronxNet is providing, I think is a great asset to their careers, man. To be able to talk, to be able to get hands-on experience, man, it's like nothing else in the world, man.
Well, this is one of the things that we do through the Make the Great Foundation. It's called the Make the Great Foundation Shadow Program. We take students around to different places of business so they can get a good idea of what it's like in that particular field. And, some people like it. Some people say, hey, it's all about this radio thing or all about the guy behind the mic. But they find out when they get there, there's a news department, a promotions department, marketing, there's a business department, there's an internet department. So there's a lot of different things that you can do. There's a sales department, a huge sales force. They make a lot of money too. There's a lot of behind the scenes jobs that you can get.
Well, that's important because oftentimes when people turn on the radio, they don't get a chance to see the air personality. All they do is hear.
Right.
They don't really know what goes on behind the thing. The editing, pausing, breaks, all kind of stuff involves with radio. And I think it's so much that people could get into. And I think it's important that when you bring these interns up there, they get a chance to see that and experience that.
And people are always wondering what you're doing when the music is playing.
All the time.
Yeah.
Actually, it's so funny. I heard you on David Levy yesterday.
Yeah, I was messing around up there.
Yeah.
He was trying to get me involved in some crazy stuff, but you got to put the brakes on at some point.
That's another thing you learn. You see, once you're behind the scenes, you see how you can finagle out of a question.
You go up to the line and say, I can't cross that. I'll let him do that part,
Did you file your taxes?
I got somebody working on them right now, yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Francisco, did you file your taxes? Andy King, did you file your taxes? Okay.
You good? All right, we wanted to put that on TV and see how much you're paying. in taxing somebody.
Yeah. So I think that's important, man. I see some clippings right there of our interns at WBLS.
Oh, okay.
Oh, look at Dr. Bob.
Oh, I
Lee.
know that cat too.
Oh yeah,
that's good.
important.
That's coming up. We're going to get a chance to take a look at that.
Yeah, we need to ask them how did they feel about that and the experience and what did they learn and what they captured.
A lot of the students are here, but I must say they were very wide open to a lot of the things that we were talking about. They even went on the air with Jeff Fox, and they met Monica. They met Monica.
That's big. See, I wish I had that experience. But on another sad note, we lost somebody that was very important to us in journalism, which is Gil Noble. He's going to be deeply missed. He had a funeral service, and I got a chance to do his last interview with him. Before he passed away, and I think his family would probably want that interview. His mother.
You did it right here at BronxNet?
No, I did it actually. BronxNet, some of the interns, somebody came down and actually filmed that.
Yeah.
Got experience to do that. Actually, it's showing some of the footage now. But I think that was great. Gil Noble is going to be deeply missed. His mother, as a matter of fact, was a supervisor in Soundview Housing and the projects, in Soundview Projects. A lot of people didn't know that. And so she was definitely very important, influential in Gil Noble's life. We talked about that. We go in depth, but I'm going to actually air that exclusive interview on my show, on the DJ Kool Clyde Show here in BronxNet, Channel 68, Thursday, 7 p.m.
Thank you, Clyde. Always weighing in with the 1-2 punch.
Yes,
bam,
sir.
Bam. Clyde, thanks so much.
All right.
Before we go forward, let's turn back the clock with our Monday morning highlights. Check it out.
What's going on? Yeah, what's going on? Tell me what's going on. I'll tell you what's going on. What's going on? Yeah.
Friday was opening day for our New York Yankees in a memorable Bronx matinee highlighted by a 5-0 victory. Let's go inside the locker room for a reaction on baseball, the return to baseball right here in the Bronx.
It's fun. Opening days are always fun. You want to play well. But at the same time, you almost want to get it over with so you can get into the flow of the season. So I'm glad we won, and now we have no more introductions or anything like that. We can move on.
You got a lot of hype coming into today. Everyone looks forward to the flyover. That's one of my favorite parts of the season. And definitely the fan energy once Jorge came out to throw out the first pitch. It's probably the loudest I had heard in a very long time. I mean, very close, if not surpassed, the playoffs in terms of noise and energy. So it's definitely a good thing.
And while the Yankees look forward to a successful season, several new businesses have moved into our area, the borough of the Boogie Down Bronx, looking to forge a valuable partnership. And companies like the Dufour Pastry Kitchens Incorporated have seen an increase in Manhattan rent, so they said, let's get out of here. They're eager to cut costs in the Bronx, while taking advantage of additional loading dock space also. Being in the Bronx has been good for business, said company co-owner Judy Arnold, and BOEDC President Marlene Citron is happy with the boom in business and looks forward to a brighter future from the Bronx that is recovering from a recession. And finally, we look forward to an event this Wednesday hosted by Borough President Ruben Diaz Jr. titled Immigration and Health Fair. It's taking place at 1200 Water Place from 6 to 8 p.m. Speakers will provide valuable information on the DREAM Act, you know about that, the Big DREAM Act, and its potential impact on the local community. Those are your highlights. You check it out, check it out. Speaking of the DREAM Act, we'll be speaking with the Lehman professor Alicia Galvez on what the Bronx students are doing to make this dream a reality, and much more. We'll talk about a whole bunch of stuff. But first, here's a look at our tour of WBLS radio station last week, courtesy of New Face Media Productions and 107.5 WBLS and the Make the Grade Foundation.
I'm the Dr. Bob Lee from 107.5 WBLS, your #1 source for R&B. All right, so let's have some fun.
And the students had a fantastic time. You saw Ann Tripp in there, the news journalist for the Steve Harvey Morning Show. She did a fantastic job in talking to the students and creating some awareness. All right, welcome back, everybody. I'm the Dr. Bob Lee from WBLS and Opens Channel 67. Our thanks once again to New Face Media Productions for giving us a WBLS Inside Look. Our first guest this morning is an assistant professor at Lehman College at the Department of Latin American Studies, and here to tell us about a new Mexican Study Institute. Alicia has more. Tell us about this institute.
Good morning. Yes, well, City University for a long time has been interested in supporting the Mexican immigrant community, increasing the enrollment of Mexican students in the university.
Yeah.
And here at Lehman College, you know, we have a growing population of Mexican students, and so we're a natural home for the new institute that was approved just in February by the CUNY Board of Trustees. So we're launching our new institute at a conference in May.
Oh, okay.
And we're excited to invite the entire community to come out for the conference.
Yeah, I was just ready to say, well, what is this institute, what does it offer?
Yes. Well, the Institute seeks to be a home for the existing institutions and organizations that already serve the Mexican immigrant community, for fostering leadership in the Mexican immigrant community, for promoting research and advocacy to promote enrollment in the college, as well as serve as an academic beacon on the East Coast. We're the only Mexican Studies Institute on the East Coast.
And what does it have to do with the DREAM Act? I think signed into legislation by Governor Cuomo.
Well, not yet, unfortunately. That's what we're hoping for. Governor Cuomo has actually been silent on the DREAM Act. He has not openly supported it.
You want him to sign it,
We would like him to support it. We would like the legislators in Albany to support it. How is the Mexican Institute related? Well, the Mexican community in New York is an immigrant community. Between 75 and 85% of the Mexicans living in New York came from Mexico. Were not born here, but their children, you know, they have children who are born here. It's a growing community, but it's a community that's recently arrived. And so immigration issues are at the core of the issues that matter to this community. And we haven't had a reform in Washington in 25 years that has enabled immigrants who are here to legalize their status.
So what is the DREAM Act and what will it do?
So as long as Washington doesn't get its act together, we basically have to look for other solutions to enable people to live their lives to the fullest degree possible, to fulfill their dreams. And so the DREAM Act would actually help only a very small targeted segment of the immigrant population, which is students who are either enrolled in college or seeking to serve in the military. That's the federal DREAM Act. It would enable them a path to citizenship. In New York State, we can't offer a path to citizenship. That's something that only the federal government can do. But in New York State, we can make the lives of immigrant students a tiny bit easier by enabling them access to TAP funding, which is state student financial aid, which would enable them to afford their college degree.
So we're going to get together and walk 150 miles from New York to Albany. As we speak,
students are actually in the Catskills. They left last Monday. They're walking the 150 miles from New York City to Albany. They're arriving tomorrow morning to ask our legislators to support the New York State DREAM Act.
Are they going to demonstrate in front of the office?
Yeah, they're going to arrive. They're going to meet with legislators. They're going to talk about their efforts and their sacrifices. They've been talking to people all the way, trying to get support for the New York State DREAM Act.
And who are these incredible students? And
they're incredible students. No, they're a multinational group. You know, they are as American as you and I. They grew up here. You know, this is their home. This is where they want to be. This is where they want to contribute. Many of them are honors students. You know, high school valedictorians. You know, they're the creme de la creme. They're the top of our best and brightest students. And because of their immigration status, they're unable to work. They're unable to get student loans to continue their education.
And here's some pictures here. If you take a look.
Yes.
Were you there?
No, I was not there, unfortunately, but I've been following them on social media as they go. Yeah. So several of them are my students, and we have actually, in the group that is walking to Albany, there's more students from Lehman than any other place. So Lehman is the heart of New York State DREAM activism.
So what do they hope to come back with?
Well, they hope to come back with legislative support. You know, unfortunately, there's some people who think that anything that benefits immigrants is going to promote so-called illegal immigration, and these are students who made no choice to come here. You know, they're here, they're just trying to fulfill their dreams, and unfortunately, with the climate of hate that we have in this country right now and discrimination towards immigrants, you know, there's a lot of people who want to deny even these, you know, best and brightest of our students the basic rights that we all enjoy to study.
Yeah.
So it's
And what do you have
sad.
in front of you? What's this?
Yes. So this is our conference on May 11th. We're very excited to invite everyone in the community to our conference. It's a conference called Salud, Beyond Deficits and Paradoxes in Mexican Immigration and Health. And basically we're looking at Mexican immigration and health issues, both the good and the bad. Mexican immigrants tend to have better outcomes than a lot of other groups when we look at cancer rates, when we look at birth weight. And so we want to tell the nice side of the story as well as the sad part of the story, which is how health outcomes decline over time living in the United States. And so we have some of the best experts in the country coming from Los Angeles, from Minnesota, from Berkeley, coming to speak at this event, as well as community-based organizations here in New York City that serve the Mexican immigrant community.
Yeah. And where's this going to be again?
This is going
right
to be here at Lehman College, May 11th, all day long. And for more information, you can go to www.lehman.edu/Mexican-studies.conference. And that, I assume, will be available on the open website as well.
Alicia, our viewers who are watching right now, how can you get them involved? What can they do?
Yes. Well, you know, call their legislators in Albany and express support for the DREAM Act, express support to Washington for federal immigration reform, you know, and for the Institute, we welcome community involvement, so they can reach out to us and
So if you get it on a federal level, you don't need it on a state level?
Yeah, it would become moot. You know, if Washington does the right thing, then the states don't have to pick up the slack.
So who do you need to call in Washington?
You name it. You can everybody, Obama on down. You know, we need support everywhere we can get it, and the more popular support there is, the more action there's going to be. This is a no-brainer. You know, these are people who are contributing, who want to contribute more, and so you know, it's an easy thing to do. It's a small number of people. It's not going to open any floodgates. You know, as some people try to make us believe using hate-filled rhetoric.
What do you say to the people that say, well, we need to close our borders and give work to the people who are
the borders are more secure than they've ever been. Obama has deported, unfortunately, he's deported nearly 500,000 people during his administration. So I don't know what else, you know, restrictionists want. The borders are secure. You know, a number of people coming across the border has leveled off to zero. There's as many people going back to their countries as coming in. But nevertheless, we have a population of 11.5 million people living inside of this country who are the product of our broken immigration system, who are unable to legalize, unable to get visas. So we have to solve it by giving them a path to legalization.
Well, I mean, talk about Mexicans coming through across the border. There's a lot of other people coming, a lot of other groups coming across also that we're not paying a whole lot of attention to.
Right. No, that's true. And that's one of the things, that's one of the ways, unfortunately, that racism gets injected into the debate, because people tend to make generalizations and assumptions and assume that the whole issue has to do with one group of people and tag that group of people as being lawbreakers or delinquents, and that's just not the case. The fact is that our immigration system doesn't accommodate the needs of our economy. So we need to give people a path to legalization.
Learn more. Alicia Galvez, a Lehman Assistant Professor with the Latin American Studies. Where can we learn more? You got information on where
you can go to lehman.edu and you can find the conference link right there. So,
Alicia, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us.
Nice to be here. Thank you.
All right, got to take a quick break, but up next, Bronx. Executive Director Andy King, he previews Youth Speaks 2012. That's up right here on Open.
Thanks so much.
And they will be filled with tears.
Your education is the key to your future. And if you're a high school student, your next stop is college. A college education gives high school graduates a competitive advantage professionally and financially. Without it, your job opportunities are much more limited. A college diploma is a necessary requirement for any successful tomorrow. So make sure you're prepared. Speak to your guidance counselor. Visit your local colleges. Your education is the key to your future.
My dad's one of the producers. Bring this one.
Clean kitchen surfaces, utensils, and hands with soapy water. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year.
3.
Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
And our next guest is the executive director of Bronx Yep. Here to share more about the organization and what's up is Andy King. We call him the councilman. Councilman Andy King. Welcome to the show.
Pleasure to be here, Doc.
We're going to call you that until, you know, it actually happens.
Okay, we'll see. If you say it and claim it, you can profess it.
Yeah,
it
let's
can
throw
happen.
it out in the air. Bam. Okay. All right, tell us about Yep and what you guys are doing. I know we've been working with you guys for a number of years now.
Right. Well, we've been quite busy as always this year, recruiting a number of new faces and a lot of new young energy. You know, we do have a turnover as kids graduate, but we're excited about this year's group and the participation they've had in community activism. And as I'm here today to discuss, in two Fridays from now, they will be organizing their 7th annual Youth Speaks. And this year's title is Building Relationships.
Building Relationships.
Yeah.
Now, what do you look for when you take on youth and get them involved?
The thing is to help them understand that they're not going to be 13 forever. They're not going to be 15 forever. And when the rules in life change, are you prepared and equipped to tackle on life as it changes? Right. So we try to help them understand that not everyone that has a master's or a doctor's, you know, turns out to be a great person. It makes you an educated individual, but we want to make sure that we have productive people regardless of your educational level.
And also remind them that, you know, somebody's putting a roof over your head right now, somebody's feeding you, you know, and guess what? One day you're going to be doing that.
Exactly.
You're going to take on that big responsibility. You're going to want to get a car, you're going to want to get a mortgage, you're going to have children, you're going to do all those wonderful things that your parents are doing.
Exactly,
so,
exactly.
Just gotta help them realize.
And we like for them to have a vision of what life should look like for them 5 and 10 years. They should have a plan and goals in life. You know, we have a statement, you know, a person walking around without a plan is like a leaf in the wind. You just go anywhere the wind blows. Yeah. We want our young people to see that I'm 13 now, what's my life going to look like when I'm 18? Because some of our young people that we've met don't even have the vision of making it to 25 because of society and the ills that they experience.
And you know, when you're young, you have this wide focus. You know, we talk about it all the time. You know, you want to do this and that. And we all went through that. I mean, I was the basketball player, the football player, the boxer. You know, I got involved in the music and everything. But, you know, there comes a time in your life where you have to narrow down that focus and pinpoint what you want to do and spend time doing that. Hal Jackson from BLS used to throw his hands up and say, just put a little time on it.
There you go.
But make sure you have your focus when you put that time on it, because when you do that, things begin to happen.
So true, and you hit the nail on the head. And one of the things for a young person to get there, they need to understand themselves. If you understand your likes, your strengths, and the things that motivate you, then you can make the decisions that will allow you to pursue a field or a career that you'll be most effective in. You know, we get caught up in today's society. You know, if you're caught up in the route that money is the way to go, you may embark on a career that you're not happy, so you're not motivated, you won't give it your best, and a lot of times you end up messing it up in the long run.
You know, I thought money was the big thing. I saw we used to sit across on a chain in the projects and watch this guy pull up with his really nice car, counting big knots of money in each pocket. And I said, oh, that's what I'm going to be, just like that. His name was Smitty.
Smitty. Oh, there's a
I wanted
Smitty in
to-
every neighborhood.
Yeah, I wanted to be just like Smitty. He had all the, people around him and everything, and he was always giving money. But we found out that, he was running numbers. So, but then the cops came, they took Smitty away. He's been gone for a little while. We grew up a little bit, and we found out that, he was doing some bad things, and they took him away for it. He came back and went to the same spot and tried to do the same thing, but he
Game
didn't
will
have
change.
what it took.
Yeah, well, we want to allow our young people, you can not to admire the illegal game, because I have not yet met today a drug dealer or anybody who's run number who has a pension plan or health insurance. So you want to get yourself in something legal enough that's going to allow you to provide for yourself and the family, and at the long run, you can sit on the porch and rock with your grandchildren.
Exactly. All right, so what are your main goals with this program?
Our main goals, pretty much, as we say, is producing productive adults. We want to make sure that our young people are active. We want to make sure our young people understand the world. When you understand the world, you're able to make proper and correct decisions, whatever that world is. If you're in a 13-year-old world, you're trying to deal with puberty, you're trying to deal with peer pressure, you're trying to deal with society within itself. As 15-year-olds, you're dealing with hormone changes, trying to understand, do I want to be in a gang or not be in a gang? At 17, you're trying to figure out, how do I pass my SATs or my Regents to graduate from high school? So these are things we want our young people to understand and educate themselves on, so they can make the right decisions, because not everyone is able to understand that, and if you're not able to navigate through all that as a teen in your teen years, then you can fall. And we want
you spoke about a lot of personal stuff too.
Right.
Do parents feel comfortable with that?
Yes,
because they want that backing. There has to be somebody else in the community. Like it takes a village to raise a family.
Exactly.
Not just that parent, because when that parent is gone, that kid can run wild. So it'd be wonderful to have them getting involved in organizations such as yours.
Right.
Who can teach them about puberty and all of those things, and they can ask questions like things that they're afraid to ask their parents about.
Right, right.
Why am I this and that? And
exactly. And the good thing about it is that the ages from the students in the classroom run from 13 to 21 years of age. So you get a host of different levels of education and experience, and we allow them all to bring their own experiences to the table, and then they help each other out by this cohesive council collection of young people's minds coming together to educate each other.
Adolescence, ooh,
yeah,
that's deep. Trying to change from a young person to an adult, adolescent. They want to do things on their own, but they still need the backing of somebody, an adult.
Yeah.
So not quite ready yet, but they want to prove to you that I'm an adult, I can do this. And that's where they need that guidance.
Exactly, and an adult doesn't walk around talking about they're adult or they're grown. Only people who are not grown walk around talking about they're grown. So what we try to do in the Youth Empowerment Program is help them understand the certain developmental levels that they're experiencing, and so this way they can navigate through it. One of the things that we also have told parents, and we are in the schools, but we are not there to teach you your fractions. We're there to assist with the personality and the social issues and the activism issues. Yeah. But we try to tell,
all the things
our
that they're not teaching.
And that's what makes a quality person. Not knowing all your fractions doesn't make you a quality person.
Right.
But we also remind our adults, never tell a young person that when you get into the real world, blah, 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 blah. Because at 13, trying to deal with the drug dealers on the corner, it's real. Trying to navigate through gangs recruitment, it's real. Trying to understand the little girl that used to look ugly, now she's looking a little cute, what I do with that emotion, that's real. How do I study for my SATs? That's real. So
peer pressure, all real.
It's all real. So as an adult, we got to help them navigate through all that.
So you have this coming up.
Yes. That's Youth Speaks. As I mentioned earlier, it's our 7th year. We are really excited that we've made it 7 years. And what this forum is organized and is ran by youth. This Youth Speaks 2012 is about building relationships, helping our young people understand. I heard you and DJ Clyde speaking earlier about the interns and going down, and he wished they had it when he was coming up. But that's the thing our children need to understand, to getting access. And now today, through Make the Great Foundation and other youth organizations, we allow our young people to have access so they can understand the world. Building relationships gives our young people an opportunity, Youth Speaks, to voice their concerns, their opinions, and as you can see, the distinguished panel of City Council, NYP, the Department of Education, who will be fielding questions from a number of about 20 schools that are involved.
And you have, it's going to be at Evangel Childs High School.
Yes.
And it's going to take place Friday, April 27th from 3:30 to 6.
I urge everyone to come on out. There will be an open mic session there, so if you have any questions that you might have for NYPD or City Council.
Judge Judy is going to be there? Judge Doris Lane.
Yes, and it's going to be dynamic. You know, we have Sandra Thomas from WABC TV, who's the keynote speaker, who's going to lay out a dynamic conversation. She's also president of Unity Council for Unity, and that's an organization that's designed to deter recidivism in our young people.
Bill de Blasio is going to be there. He's a good friend.
Yes, the public advocate.
Yes. Okay. Give us a number or a website where we get more information.
Well, they can get more information by emailing us at bronxyep@gmail.com or going onto our Facebook at the Bronx Youth Empowerment Program. All the information there is time, date, location, and how you can participate and tell us that you're going to join us on this day.
And YEP stands for?
Youth Empowerment Program.
Yep. Andy King, the Executive Director, YEP.
My pleasure. Good to see you again, Dr. Bobley.
Councilman's in the house. All right. We got to take another quick break, but up next, author Gary Haywood. He's going to share his incredible story of redemption through the power of the PEN. It's all coming up next right here on Open. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
So funky. Get rockin'. So rockin'. So funky. Rockin'.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
Separate raw meats from other foods by using different cutting boards. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
This is one amazing truffula tree. Can you imagine a place where these grow everywhere? Yes, it's called the Forest, a magical place to enjoy with your family.
Ooh.
So discover the forest and explore all the wonder that's there. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Cook foods to the right temperature using a food thermometer. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 8th wonder of the world. The flow of the century. Oh, it's timeless. Ho!
DJ Kool Cloud on the ones and twos. Welcome back to Open, everybody. I'm your host, Dr. Bob Lee from BLS. And our next guest is the owner and CEO of Haywood Publishing. His autobiography, Corruption Officer, details, corruption officer, details his life as a cop, turned inmate, turned author. Now here to share his journey is Gary Haywood. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
How did all this stuff take place? I mean, you were thriving in the correction business, right? Right, you worked at Rikers Island?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I probably saw you over at C-76 or GMD.
I was at 76 and 73.
You were C-76?
Yeah,
and 73, yeah.
Yes, sir.
So you were over there doing your thing, and then what happened?
Well, as a correction officer, and growing up in an inner city neighborhood, once you become a CO, they tell you that 9 times out of 10, you're going to see people that you know from your neighborhood growing up as you were growing up. So all
in jail.
In jail.
Yeah.
Now, your officer, your buddies, your family members that you know are inmates. And you're going to be propositioned throughout. I don't care who you are. They're going to ask you, can you bring me? Can you do? Can you bring me? Can you do?
Yeah.
And you tell them, you deter them, you tell them that you're here to do your job, and you stay straight and narrow, and
right.
that's what you're supposed to do.
Right.
Well, in my case, I fell on some hard times. I made some bad decisions, and it landed me up in prison myself.
Yeah. So you helped somebody out in jail.
Yes, I did.
That's easy to say, right there.
That's the best way to put it.
Help somebody out, because I've been in there for like over 20 years, just going in and out doing shows. I'm bringing a sound system. We have an open mic. I'm bringing artists. They come on and they do. I'll have somebody. We do like the Apollo Theater in there.
Okay.
Entertainment. So you probably saw us at C76.
A couple times, probably.
Yeah, and we have the bleachers, and you got this section and that section, and then you have maybe you got 2 singers from each group.
Okay.
You got maybe 4 rappers from each group, and they battle one another, and then we have a Kiki come by, one of the officers, and they put their hand over their head.
Okay.
And they had fun doing that, and then after all of that, we bring in one of the artists, a surprise artist, waiting in the wings,
all right,
and they just throws them off. Oh, yeah. And so and then we hit them with a message on the way out. Hey, people get trapped off, and now it's time, while you have time, to get your life together and to do the right thing.
Exactly, that's what I did.
Yeah. So how much time did you spend?
Well, I did 2 years upstate in Oneida County, and then I did 1 year post-release supervision.
Yeah. But how did that feel, being on the other side? You were monitoring these inmates, and now you were one.
Well, the transformation was, first of all, I embarrassed myself, my family, the humiliation I had to face, going from one side to another. Well, being a correctional officer almost 10 years, I knew what the prison life was about as an officer.
Yeah.
And as an inmate to a certain degree, because, they say as an officer, you're doing time.
You do time
well,
but you're
like
able to leave.
You can clock out and go home. They can't. But so when I became an inmate, it was horrific. It was fear, horrific humiliation. What's going to happen? What am I going to do?
Knowing that they knew you were with the law, did you think that they were going to do something different to you?
Oh, absolutely.
Or treat you
it was
worse?
It was always in the air that I could be harmed, but the department makes sure they put me in protective custody. I'm not here to say I was any kind of gangster or tough guy. They put me in protective custody throughout my whole duration as an inmate.
Did you do your push-ups and weights and all that stuff?
Oh yeah, it was weird. Like in prison, okay, some of us got gym memberships. Yeah. Right. We don't go sometimes, but in prison, these guys are dedicated. Meaning, just to go outside, they going to hit those weights. I mean, I remember working out 16 below. With a blizzard, snow coming in my face, and I'm working out, just to be outside in the fresh air.
That's the thing to do, right?
That's an option.
Yeah.
That you really don't want.
Stay within those walls.
Yeah.
Man. So that was like an eye opener for you. So you sat down, you had time, while you're doing time to write this book.
Well, during the time, when you're in prison, you're isolated a lot. They give you time. Part of a rehabilitation is give you time to think about your crime or the things you did or what you're going to do different when you get on the outside. Yeah. So throughout my, altogether 12 years experience with prison, I said that, I wanted to do something because I've witnessed and participated in a lot of things that I'm not proud of. Yeah. And I wanted to use that to influence the youth or anybody not to go to prison. This is not the place to be. Prison is not a rite of passage. It's not a badge of honor like some youth think.
They think it's a rite of passage.
Yeah, so I just wanted to let them know this is not the place to be. And Corruption Officer, in my book, it lets them know from the beginning to the end. If you want to know what it's like to be a correction officer, I'm telling you from A to Z. If you want to know what it's like to be a prisoner, I'm telling you for A to Z. If you want to know, I'm not saying that any correction officer indulges in what I indulge in, but if you want to know what it's like if you're doing wrong to go to jail as a law enforcement, my book lets you know what that is as well.
So people can learn a whole lot in that book that you put together because it's both sides of the law.
Yes, sir. It's very raw. I didn't sugarcoat anything because I wanted the point to be driven in. Some people, I'm gonna say people, not only youth, go to jail, do a little 6 months, then they come out with their chest puffed out like, I can do this. this is easy. Jail is nothing. But it's a whole lot. Your freedom is taken away and you controlled from A to Z, and that's not the way to live your life.
Yeah. Were you in a minimum security prison? Or
it was a medium.
Medium.
Medium. They don't have.
They have the hardcore. Then they got the medium, and then they got the one that's like a camp.
Summer camp. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was in the medium. I was in a medium prison. I mean, it was a non-violent crime, so I wasn't a violent person per se. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was a hell of an experience.
But yeah, it was incredible. I witnessed a lot. You know, like one of the things that inspired me to write the book is I'm sitting there, and yeah, I got 2 years, and I'm crying and weeping over the 2 years that I had to do. But I'm looking in the face of individuals, young guys, who don't realize they're never coming home.
Oh, wow.
You're never coming home.
Yeah.
You're 19, you're 20, you committed these crimes, and you're never coming home. So if I can reach the ones who haven't took that far yet and prevent just one person from going to jail, I think I did my job.
Did you see anything outstanding while you were in there?
Okay, are you
Violence
talking about as far as working or far as being an inmate?
Being an inmate.
Oh,
I know while working you saw it all. You had
of
to
course.
cut people down and all
Yeah,
that stuff.
Of course. I saw a few things. I mean, it was people get in a different state of mind once they become inmates, especially if they've been there for a certain amount of time. Bless you.
Thank you.
I saw a guy who's really mentally gone, which he'd been in jail for about 16 years, and he would tell me, oh, last year I went to Mexico, or this year I went to Puerto Rico. So I scratched my head like, I know you've been here 16 years.
You didn't leave the building.
So what they have something called ClickLick where inmates get to take a picture of themselves. So what he did, he would take a picture of himself, and then his wife would send him pictures of her on vacation, and he would cut himself out, paste them to the picture, and then he'd say, we went to, and if you tell him that you didn't go anywhere, you have a fight on your hands.
You have a big problem.
Yeah.
Not with just him, but everybody involved in his organization.
Exactly, exactly. So,
there's a lot of that in there, right? A lot of gangs and stuff.
Oh yeah, of course. It's a lot of gang activity. A lot of youth join gangs for protection, for out of being weak, out of trying to just get along, you know, do their time and get out of there, you know, out of fear. You know, so it's a lot of gang activity in jail.
So you're doing a lot of public speaking. You're going around different places trying to teach people, hey, this is not the way to go.
Yeah, I'm trying to
get your life straight and, you know, get your mind right and all of this stuff.
Yes. Up this week I have an article coming up in the New York Times about my book. You know,
wonderful.
And I'm hopefully start to go around and talk to the youth because they really need to know.
There you go.
They really need to know it's a raw, uncut story, nonfiction. I didn't cut any corners. I didn't make myself out to be some kind of hero because I'm not. You know, what I'm doing is trying to be a role model right now by getting myself together and letting them know I don't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
I don't even jaywalk. I don't do anything wrong. I'm just letting them know that is not the way to go.
And you're creating awareness with this wonderful book and you going around speaking, you know, about what you're doing and all that stuff.
Yes, sir.
You know right from wrong.
Of course.
You know? So what are you going to do? That's what you're telling you.
Exactly.
You know right from wrong. What are you going to do?
Exactly.
How are you going to live your life? Okay, where can we get more information on you?
You can go to my website, www.corruptionofficer.com. You can purchase the book from Amazon or BarnesandNoble.com. And you can go to my website. It'll tell you where else you can purchase it. Also, Deja Vu Lounge on 110th Street in Harlem and Lexington Avenue has my paperback books.
There you go. Gary Haywood, everybody, owner/CEO, Haywood Publishing. The CEO is in the house. All right. Not the, what do you call a correction officer? CO?
A corruption officer.
Not the CO, the CEO is in the house. Corruption officer, learning from mistakes. Thank you, Gary.
Thank you for having me,
It's a
sir.
pleasure to see you.
All
You
right,
got to
sir.
come back and share more. We got to take a final break right here, but up next, we're going to be treated to the musical stylings of urban jazz artist, Devin Bing Bing Bing. He's right here. You don't want to miss it. Stay right here. Sit back, kick off your shoes, and relax your feet. We're coming right back.
Thank you for having me.
Your education is the key to your future. And if you're a high school student, your next stop is college. A college education gives high school graduates a competitive advantage professionally and financially. Without it, your job opportunities are much more limited. A college diploma is a necessary requirement for any successful tomorrow. So make sure you're prepared. Speak to your guidance counselor. Visit your local colleges. Your education is the key to your future.
kitchen surfaces, utensils, and hands with soapy water. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
This is one amazing truffula tree. Can you imagine a place where these grow everywhere? Yes, it's called the Forest, a magical place to enjoy.
Check
with your
1,
family.
2.
So discover the forest and explore all the wonder that's there. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Cook foods to the right temperature using a food thermometer. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm the Dr. Bob Lee with Cool Clyde on the ones and twos. I'm on the MIC, and we do it just like this because the beat goes on and on and on and on until the break of dawn. Because now it's time for Music Mondays. Check it out. And this week we welcome to the stage an artist creating his own brand of urban jazz. And here to perform, please put your hands together, everybody. Go like this, go like this. Yeah, put your hands together for Dave Devon Bing. Devon Bing is in the house.
If you tell me what you like, I'll remember. I could be the sugar to your spice, the salt to your pepper, baby. And if you felt in love tonight, you wouldn't have to worry. No. Let it go, don't think twice. You can give up the fight, just surrender if you like what you have. Just surrender and wave your white flag. Just surrender, I think you finally met your match. Just surrender, surrender while you can, 'cause I'm your man. And if you wanna tell me all your secrets, babe, I'll lock them away and throw out the keys. And if you had to trust everything I say, would you, could you, you should, yeah. Oh, I'm a fool in love and that's alright, as long as I got you by my side. Whoa, honey, lay your body next to mine. You can give up the fight and just surrender if you like what you have. Just surrender and wave your white flag. Just surrender, I think you finally met your match. Just surrender, surrender while you can, 'cause I'm your man. So here we are on this battlefield of hearts, and you capture mine from the start. Oh, we'll both be a couple of casualties of love. So baby, you can give up and just surrender if you like what you have. Oh, just surrender and wave your white flag. Just surrender, I think you finally met your match. Just surrender, surrender what you can, 'cause I'm your man. So surrender while you can, baby, 'cause I'm your man.
Yeah, give him a big round of applause. Devon, bang, bang, bang. You're going to use that microphone right there. Now, Harry Connick Jr.?
That's a good reference.
Ah, here you go. I mean, was he one of your favorite artists?
No question. Harry Connick was absolutely, yeah. He's a big influence, as well as Frank Sinatra, obviously, and Mel Torme. But I also loved instrumental jazz. So Miles, Train, Bill Evans, of course, yeah.
Improv. And
absolutely.
Yeah. Thelonious Monk.
The man, Herbie.
Oh,
forget about it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's my approach to jazz. You know, I take it from an instrumentalist point of view.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a singer, pianist, but also, melodic with my vocals.
And, you know, we had a bunch of jazz stations. We had a contemporary jazz station, CD 101.9, that switched off into something else. But they still have WBGO, I think, out of New Jersey, which does traditional jazz.
Right.
And it gets into the Thelonious Monks and all that stuff. Do you listen to that station?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm from Brooklyn, so...
Brooklyn's in the house, hey.
So,
I told you jazz started in Brooklyn.
Yeah, so I mean, I try to hit as many of the FM, stations, but I love BLS, man. I mean,
there you go.
They bring it back. Because I mean, as well as being a traditional jazzist, I loved R&B growing up as well. And Brian McKnight was one of my favorite singers, and so I like to have that. Together, it all kind of, it's a bridge.
So how did you get started? What made you catch the music bug?
I'm gonna have to say the first time I heard that Kind of Blue album, man, the Miles Davis. That was it. But I was always a singer, so I was always like, well, how can I, implement my love for improvisation and songs, styling as a singer and a kind of growing pianist. So, I think I hit that around like 13, and then I started playing in blues clubs when I was 14. I was very young, just playing in all these.
Did they tell you about call and response?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, that's where I learned my beginning kind of foundation of that's where I did all the messing up, and the cats were just like, nah.
We do it as MCs, the call and response. Let me hear you say ho, ho. You left me? Let me hear you say ho, ho. Right? And then you do it by way, if you have the whole band there, how do you guys do the call and response?
Yeah, I mean, especially when you have like drum solos and whatnot, you trade fours and you're always kind of working off. And that's kind of an interesting concept of organic soloing, when you're taking a call response and you take an idea from someone else and you implement it in your soloing techniques and everything.
Where are you going to be next? Where can we see you?
Next, not this Sunday, but following Sunday, April 29th at Something Jazz. It's on 52nd between 2nd and 3rd. Really great jazz club, and it's in Midtown Manhattan.
And how can we reach you?
You can reach me at devonbing.com, DEVIN, Bing, like the website, and Facebook at Devon Bing on Twitter. The whole 9 yards, right?
Devon Bing, everybody, give him a big round of applause. Yes, indeed. Devon, thanks so much. Right, you going to take us home with something?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, that's all the time we have for today's show. Many thanks to all of our guests for tuning in and checking it all out, and you, the viewer, for tuning in. And make sure you tune into an all-new Open this Wednesday with host Darren Jaime. And always remember this: what you are is God's gift to you, and what you make of yourself is your gift to God. So choose your choice and let your choice control the choosing. Catch you on each and every night right after the Quiet Storm with Keith Sweat. I'll be on tonight. Check me out. 107.5 WBLS. Devin Bing, take us home. Here we go.
Loving you is like a dream for two. No, I never wanna wait. Every inch of you is mine, and I won't let it go to waste. Oh, it feels so good to say that I'm so happy. I'm so happy you're my baby. I'm so happy, I'm so happy to call you my own. Oh, and you should know everything